Forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them.
It's over, Anakin! Very well. The Green Arrow. Devil!
You don't want to do this.
Yeah, we do. The Bad Batch.
Hello everybody, welcome to Duo Planet, the YouTube channel and extension, the podcast, where we talk all things media. I'm one of your hosts, Azteral.
I'm your Slasher.
That is very true. Today we have got some very, very fun stuff planned. We have got a couple of games. Mainly a versus game and a ranking game. This time Jordan will be doing the rankings and I will be attempting to rank
Like we did
them.
last time, it's basically I give him rankings and we've got to see where we put.
Rank them based on my opinion, but see how similar the opinions are to
basically.
Jordan. And then we will then move into the main topic, which for this week will be James Gunn's DC universe and the castings, the potential storylines that he could do, our thoughts and feelings about James Gunn and his take on certain things, all that. And then if we have time at the end, we'll do another round of one of the games. But first, I think we'll start with the versus game first. So, who wants to go first for that? Who wants to give the first matchup?
You can if you want.
Okay. For the first matchup, I think we will do. Okay, I've got one. We will do Prime Anakin Skywalker versus Prime Luke Skywalker.
So what do you mean by prime?
Like them in their peak. Them at their most powerful.
So for Luke, it's...
For Luke, it's like Mandalorian level of Luke, where he's just literally cruising through force-crushing stuff.
Right.
And then for Anakin, it would be like a couple of like weeks before Revenge of the Sith probably would be Anakin's peak.
Right.
Where he's still the light side.
I would have to go with Prime Luke.
Yeah, I would probably agree with Prime Luke.
I just think the fact that he was able to rip apart those fucking Death Troopers.
I mean,
robots.
I've got no disillusion that Anakin could probably do the same thing.
Yeah, but
I think Luke's prime, Luke's like prime of like pinnacle. Luke's like a lot stronger light side wise than Anakin is. Anakin's the better warrior, but I think Luke's the more sage. And because of that, I feel like Luke will be... Like, he beat Darth Vader, and Vader's, like, more deadly than Anakin was. So, I think Luke's the safe bet there.
how many would we win each?
We'll do 2 each.
You do your next one, and then I'll do mine.
Technically, this is the same person, but I'm interested in your thoughts.
Okay.
What is he? I think the 10th Doctor, aka Tennant, I think, versus the 11th Doctor in Matt Smith. So Tennant versus Smith. Which one of them wins in terms of which one would outwit the other because they don't use gun?
Which one would outwit the other?
Well, that's basically how the Doctor works. He never wins a fight, he just outwits them.
Either that
I
or
have
he has people do the killing for him.
And in that respect, I actually have an answer.
I think I'm gonna have to go with my boy Tennant.
I'm going the opposite way. I'm going Smith.
Alright.
Because in Tennant has got access to unit. I think that's what they're called.
Yeah, they are.
In the realms of he has that armed force of people that are like specialized in dealing with these threats. However, Matt Smith's Doctor, in his like time, he was able to muster an army within minutes to go and save Amy Pond from the Silence. And the fact that he was able to muster an army of such a diverse group of people that could do so many different things, and literally like win in seconds. Like he won in literal seconds, and he was just memeing the entire time. I think Smith's got the edge, but Tennant's definitely got his own little Mary band.
Right, so mine. I'm gonna give you. I think for the first one, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you. Let's go with. I don't think we're like what I haven't done before. Wait, I'll give you a Doctor Who one. My Doctor Who one is Daleks or the Cyberman, or the Cybermen, shall I say.
Ooh, that's interesting. They're pretty much identical in terms of capabilities. I think Daleks, because I feel like they have superior fleet.
Yeah, they're the ones who were able to do most of the stuff.
I feel like the Daleks are more advanced. The Cybermen are sort of just there.
Well, it's funny because the Cybermen just. Well, the new generation of Cybermen mainly, I'd say, come from mainly come from the. If I'm right, they mainly come from the whole, like, other universe thing that happened.
Yeah.
Other than the original versions, which were very like had massive fucking heads. Right, next one. I will give you. Alright, I'll do you a Cyberpunk one because I know you've been playing Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Let me think. Cyberpunk wise, do you prefer? Would you choose the normal story? So, like, before Phantom Liberty, or do you prefer Phantom Liberty?
Phantom Liberty. I love the spy thrill. Just the opening alone, where you go to the entrance to Dogtown, and then you have to sneak through the wall to get into the stadium, and then you climb up a bunch of construction, and then you witness Space Force One crash into Dogtown, and then you've literally got to sprint through Dogtown to get to Space Force One, save President Myers. And some of the loot in that mission's amazing. Like you can get like an NUSA suit like outfit where it's like this blue suit with like black accents and like a gold pin in the lapel. And I've been rocking that on my playthrough of my stealth ninja assassin using a Sandeva stand to.
Are you still romancing Panem?
I am. It's the only correct romance for male B.
Really see it.
The only two romances that I ever see people go for in Cyberpunk is either Panam or Judy.
Yeah.
I never see River and I never see Kerry.
I think with Judy, only female.
Yeah,
only
the
female.
restrictions are quite big for Cyberpunk, which is weird because they like advertise Cyberpunk with so much like choice, which it has got. And with Phantom Liberty, I prefer Solomon Reed as like a bro character to Keanu Reeves, Johnny Silverhand, just because Reed is. I can get along with Reed a lot more because I understand where he's coming from, whereas with Johnny Silverhand, it's always just fuck the corporation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Johnny, man, calm down for like 3 seconds and let me. Like, I'm trying to be tactical and like manipulate someone into doing something through dialogue options, and Johnny sat there and he's like, "You're a fucking chum, V," and I'm like, Johnny, man, I don't actually intend on helping them. I'm literally doing that so they don't shoot me in the face.
Yeah.
Like at one point, Johnny, like at one point, I was doing a mission and like I was interrogating someone, and Johnny was like, "Just kill him," and I was like.
It's every time. I think it's every time that he shows up, your character's just he just shows up, and you're like, for fuck's sake.
Well, he shows up again after a while in Phantom Liberty. You get disconnected from Songbird, and he shows up again. And one of the dialogue options is "Great to see you again, Johnny." And I clicked it because I was like, it's nice to have him back. V's response is just. Great to see you again, Johnny. And it's just the most like sarcastic way of like saying it. And I was like, that's perfect.
Like, what ending are you hoping for on yours?
I know they've all got like names. People like call them different things as like the sun and stuff. I am contemplating Don't Fear the Reaper, where I solo Arasaka Tower.
Yeah, that's the. Well, I think on mine, I did that. Oh no, actually, no. On mine, I did Arasaka. That you know about the base at the end, like the massive fucking complex.
Well, there's loads of different ways that you do it. You've got like there's one where you go with Rogue. There's one where you go with Hanako. There's one where you literally walk through the front door and storm the place yourself, which is the one I'm contemplating. And then there's one where you go with the Aldecaldos, aka the Nomads.
So yeah, that's the one I did. I went with the one with Panem, where we took the tank.
Yeah,
in my first ever playthrough, that's the one I did.
Because when I started the game, I was
I fought Adam Smasher on my own, and I found that fight a bit too easy.
They've changed it.
Is it harder now?
They updated it in 2.1. It's now actually a challenge.
Thank God, because I fought him and I was like, he was like this massive force between it, like all the way through, like him showing up and all that, and then the anime, and I kept looking back from the anime and the rest of the story versus the ending where you fight him, and I'm like, he's not that good, but somehow
I started the game net running using like cyberdecks and stuff to just kill people without having to do anything, and I eventually got bored of playing a point and click adventure game, which is basically what net running is. There's no real way to spice it up. You are scanning and hacking, and it's a souped up magic system. And I was like, nah, not for me. So I used my one respec that you get for the attributes, and I respec into reflexes, cool, and technical ability. And I am now a time-slowing, katana-wielding, dashing between enemies, throwing incendiary grenades, using a literal flaming katana. And it's the most fun I think I've ever had in gaming. Because I'm slowing down time, I'm dashing between enemies literally like cutting them down with like a flip. It's effectively a lightsaber, the katana I've got. And I'm cutting them down, and it just feels so much cooler than sitting there holding tab and pressing F to apply quick hacks.
That's why I don't do net running. Like, I don't... Like, I have seen people do it.
I've seen people do it in a way where it looks cool.
I've always thought of, like, I always see those videos where someone's got weapons out and they're switching between weapons while slowing the time down, being like super quick, and just shooting someone in slow motion, and I'm like, that's what I want to do. And then they get those fucking like mantis blades and I'm like, hell yeah.
I mean, some of the net running gameplay I've seen, because people coined a new term with Cyberpunk, which is aggressive stealth.
Yeah.
Where people's like mantra for it is, you can't be detected if there's no one left to detect you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like people are like slowing down time, they're throwing grenades into the air, and like time is unfreezing after they've killed like 5 people, and the grenade lands and blows another like 10 people up. And like I was sat there and I was playing the game while watching a video, and I went to myself, I went, man, I'd much rather do that than what I'm currently doing, while I was sat like quick hacking people in a gig. And that was the point where I went, I have a katana that is literally a lightsaber. And so I
think on my playthrough I'm doing now, I am gonna look for getting the mantis blades.
Well, I basically turned V from a net running god, because I was insanely strong. The game was actually trivial. I'm playing on very hard, and like I was breezing through boss fights in like 2 attacks. And so I swapped, and now my build, like thematic wise, I've turned him into a like fire samurai, where I've got a flaming katana, I've got thermal mantis blades that I can swap to. I've got incendiary grenades attached, so I can throw incendiary grenades out to like set people on fire. It's really, really fun. And I could go with thermal gorilla arm, so that I can open higher strength tier doors and like do higher strength checks. But there's just something so cool about like having the katana out, cutting 3 people down with it, and then swapping to the mantis blades and like lunging at someone with them.
Yeah,
all while time is slowed.
I can't wait to see where like if they plan on doing the sequel, like they've said that they might be adding. They've not like confirmed that a multiplayer will be happening. It's like if people want it that much, we'll work on it. And I'm there thinking GTA style online.
Yeah.
So like
they have the framework like mission wise. Like I not necessarily multiplayer, but like co-op would be quite fun. Where you, like
even just co-op. Like I don't need a full on like thing. As long as it's like kind of sandboxy, where one person could be doing another mission while the other person's doing another, but then like you could be on the same mission doing stuff together and stuff like that. Like it's like your choices matter. So like you're not the same person per se. Like say you do multiplayer, so there's like 2 main characters. I think that would be cool. Like there's 2 main characters, maybe they're brothers, maybe they're best friends.
I mean, you could do, like, if you want to keep the idea of, like, creating your own character in the Cyberpunk thing, you could do it in a way where they add, like, dialogue options where they make it, like, private conversations where people can pick their own option for each scene.
But even when the characters are talking to one another.
Yeah,
like, if your character and mine's like say that we're playing together, your character's talking to mine in like a vehicle. We're just having a little banter in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So like have those moments.
Hang on, I'm being shouted.
Yep.
Yeah, so definitely Phantom Liberty.
You guys are
over,
going to notice a jump will had to pause, so I paused the recording, so
Definitely
that's
Phantom
why.
Liberty over the base game, I think.
Yeah. I got you. Hey, let's go on to the review game. Are you ready?
I am. I'm going to open a Word document. Right.
Alright. 5 for the first one.
Okay.
These are Spider-Man villains. I know there's
Okay.
more than 5, but I've only chosen a few.
I'm going to say you could have gone 6 and it would have been the Sinister Six.
True, but
5, let's hear them.
hang on, I'll add 6. 6. I need to figure it out now. I need to think of one. Yeah, I'll go with that. Where would I put this one? Put him there. Obviously, guys, these are just like out of villains we like and prefer. Right. So your choices are Electro, Green Goblin, Venom, Doc Ock, Shocker, and Vulture.
I've got Electro, Green Goblin, Vulture, Shocker, Venom. Who am I missing?
Who you got again?
Electro, Green Goblin, Vulture, Shocker, Venom.
Doc Ock.
Ooh, okay. Well, you've got to be there. I'm just gonna. Oh,
It's not like you hit. It's basically which ones you like more than others.
You're gonna go there. You're gonna go there. You're gonna go there. Right. I think I have my list.
Alright. So how did we do it? I say mine and then you say yours.
Nah, you asked me what I've got in what position.
Right. What you got at 6?
I have Vulture.
I have Vulture as well.
Okay, off to a good start.
Up to a good start. What about your number 5?
I have Electro.
I have Electro.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Number 4?
Shocker.
Same.
This is where it's gonna get.
This is where it gets hard.
Get dicey.
Well, it's the top 3. Number 3?
Venom.
Oh, I've got Doc Ock.
Oh,
Number 2?
I have Doc Ock.
I've got Venom. So we've both put Green Goblin at number 1.
I think we both have.
So other than those two, we're pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Alright. Good. We both don't like Vulture much.
It's not I don't like him. It's like compared to the other ones, he's sort of an irrelevant villain.
Your next one is... There's 10. And this is Assassin's Creed main characters. So, the character you play as.
8, 9... Well, there we go.
So, I have Ezio.
Alright.
Edward Kenway.
Yep.
Anno Dorian.
Indeed.
Bayek.
I don't even know how you spell that name. I'm going with that spelling.
It's Bayek.
Oh, I've got that right. Let's go.
Altair.
Altair Ibn Ahad.
Jacob Fry.
Oh god.
Evie
Yeah.
Fry.
Oh god.
Connor Kenway.
Yeah.
Shay Cormac.
Yeah.
Ivor. Evo? How do you say it now?
Evo.
Evo.
Ivor.
Whichever it is. And those are your
I'm
10.
glad. I'm glad you've skipped over Cassandra and Alexio.
I was tempted, but I knew those would have been higher, so
Right.
I wanted to go with other ones.
You see, I know for a fact that I have very, very different tastes when it comes to the Assassin's Creed.
I know you do.
protagonist.
Yeah, that's so true.
So I think I already know where your list is going. So this should prove interesting, and people in the comments that have played Assassin's Creed might hate me as well. Go there. Go there. You've got to go because you're just absolutely awful.
I was gonna do games like individually, but I decided to do characters instead.
Yeah, I have my list.
Right, what have you got for number 1? I mean number 10.
I have Jacob Fry.
I've got Ivor.
Interesting.
What about number 9?
I have Ivor.
I have Shay Cormac.
Wow.
Didn't like
Wow.
him. I didn't like him. I liked the game. I just didn't like him as a character as much. By the way, this is like which ones I prefer. It's not really like that I don't like them. I like Ivor enough. I like Shay Cormac enough. Right, what's number 8?
Evie.
I've got Connor.
Yeah, I expected Connor to be that high for you.
Number 7?
I have Shay Cormac.
I have Evie Fry.
Fair enough.
Number 6?
Connor.
I have Jacob Fry. I prefer Jacob to his sister.
I prefer Evie to Jacob because Jacob's just.
I think Evie is more of like this. Obviously, she's more into the Assassin Brotherhood, but I think Jacob's more like my favorite type of assassin, where they're still trying to have fun while also being in this world. Next one is number 5.
I have Altair.
I have Altair as well.
First one. That
Number 4.
I have Edward Kenway.
I've got Bayek. Number 3.
Ezio.
Anno Dorian. Number 2.
I have Bayek of Siwa.
I've got Edward Kenway. Number 1.
Arno Victor Dorian.
I've got Ezio.
In my opinion, Arno is just an improved version of Ezio.
It's just that Ezio's my boy.
Also, Unity Parkour goes a long way because Arno feels so spring. He actually feels like an assassin, whereas the other ones feel like a paperweight half the time.
Right. Main topic. We are going to what we're talking about.
The James Gunn DC universe.
Wait, what I find funny, the Marvel are not hiding it anymore. Dogpool is in Deadpool. They've posted a photo of the dog, the actual dog in costume, and it says Deadpool has wrapped filming on Deadpool 3.
Let's go.
And the fucking image of it, like the costume looks great. The dog does not look happy. What's our main topic again?
James Gunn's DC.
Ah, yes, James Gunn's DC universe. Well, guys, as far as you know, David Cornsweet. David Cornsweet, who has been casted as James Gunn's version of Superman, has been doing some screen tests. Lately, he did some screen tests for that. I think he wore they always get the actor to wear Christopher Reeve's costume from like the really old films. They always get him to wear that, but then they also got him to wear which version were in that? I think it was the one from James Gunn's Justice League, not James Gunn. From Zack Snyder. I think it's the one from Zack Snyder, like the really bright blue.
Yeah.
They got him to wear that version of the suit, and the fucking work on the hair. They actually got the flick, where he has that like little thing at the top where it's like supposed to form an S.
Yeah.
Like I think they got that on point. If I can find an image, I'll send you it. But I think I'm just tired of people saying if they wanted Henry Cavill, why didn't they just keep him? I'm like, they didn't want Henry Cavill. It's just that David Cornsweet did well in the auditions.
I wanted Henry Cavill. That's just because Henry Cavill's my guy.
Fair point. But like, they wanted a younger actor to be. Obviously, they wanted Superman to be younger in this.
They want a younger Superman so that they can have an older Batman.
Which were a bit weird.
It is a bit weird because they're supposed to be like similar in age, and they're supposed to be similar in experience by the time that they like interact.
Yeah.
And like having Superman be like young and naive when Batman's like already like this James Gunn's version of Batman has already trained 3 Robins.
Do you know what? You know what's funny as well? I feel like that he's tried to do it in the way that the animated show did, but different. Because in the animated Superman show, Batman came first and then Superman.
Yeah.
But they were still similar ages because Batman had only just started out. Like, he didn't even have a Robin yet.
Speaking of other characters, there's some that we have had casting for, obviously, but there are some that we haven't.
Oh, yeah.
Who's your ideal like cast for some of the roles we haven't had?
What we haven't had?
Yeah.
Let me actually have a look at... I can't find an image now.
Like, I have some of them.
James Gunn. Do you know as Nicholas Hoult got cast as Lex Luthor?
Yeah.
He talked to Jesse Eisenberg. And guess what Jesse Eisenberg did? Said to him, "Don't do it like me." You know where Jesse Eisenberg was like being like all nuts.
Yeah.
I think having Nicholas Hoult, because Nicholas Hoult, I've seen him play really good. Like he kind of has that Lex Luthor like charm where he pretends to be nice and all that, but he also seems to have that where he can be that ruthless person that we know Lex to be. So I think him, because he was one of the front runners for Superman.
Yeah, he was.
And
he was what the people wanted.
Yeah, but he got but David Cornsweet got it, and then it was announced that he got Lex Luthor, which I think is really good because I feel like James Gunn's one of those people who I think he likes to not just get rid of actors who didn't make the cut. Like, he likes to look back at auditions and choose an actor to be a different character. Because there's a lot of actors out there who were up front for different characters that we know ended up playing a character in the same universe but played someone else. Because they did it better as that. James Gunn DCU cast.
I mean, there's a couple of like characters in my head that I've already sort of fan casted. Like, because it's an older Batman, there's obviously there's Nightwing,
apparently there's
Red
14 altogether that's been casted. David Cornsweet as Superman. We've got Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, which everybody seems to like. Viola Davis is staying as Amanda Waller. We have Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr., which I think is a good casting because he played what's that character's name? That villain, Skull and Bones. No, in Marvel, he died anyway. He played that, and I think he will do really well. Maria Bakalova is Princess Elena Rostovic. We have Indira Varma as the Bride of Frankenstein. Zhu Chayo as, I'm getting these names wrong, as Nina Mazursky, which is a fish woman. Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus. David Harbour as Eric Frankenstein. Sean Gunn as playing two characters, G.I. Robot and Weasel. John Cena as Peacemaker, staying. Steve Agee staying as John Economus. Zolo Mariduena staying as Blue Beetle. Apparently Jason Momoa, for some reason, says something like, it's got question marks, so we don't know who he's playing. I'm hoping Lobo. There's some on here that are not even actually correct. Some on there that are not even... who else is there? So we have a few others. There are a few others. We have all of the a few Justice League actors. Not just right. We have, if I'm right, we've got.
I mean, there's one I'm surprised you've not said already.
I'm trying to. Oh yeah. Why is his name? Why is my brain is just not working today? I can't find out names anymore. Hang on, I need to think. That's fucking loud. Jesus. Why is his name like? What the fuck is wrong with my brain?
His name's Nathan Fillion.
That's it. Why did his name escape me for like 5 seconds? Also, yeah, Nathan Fillion is, we may know, voiced Hal Jordan's Green Lantern in the animated stuff, but he has been casted as I think it's first time he's ever been in live action as well. He'll be playing Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be playing Guy Gardner. Which is going to be interesting. Apparently, also, his first film is supposed to be out this year. Apparently, it says Creature Commandos, which obviously I think is supposed to be animated. Is going to be out this year. But yeah, so it is Guy Gardner he's playing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner. We do have a Hawk woman. We have a Hawk girl. I just can't remember the actor's name. Oh, Metamorpho's being casted, and it's everybody's favourite villain from Gotham. The guy who played Victor Zsasz, Anthony Carrigan. He'll be playing Metamorpho, which, if I'm right, Metamorpho is like... Is it the guy? No, it's not him, is it? Metamorpho is this guy who can transform or something, I can't remember.
That would make sense considering that is the definition of Metamorpho.
Right. So yeah, Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern, Guy Gardner. Oh, Hawkgirl is going to be played by Isabel Merced. Merced, I think I said that right. She is also going to be in the new Madam Web film. She'll be playing.
Which I'm sure everyone is super excited for, and is not in the least.
The actress who plays Madam Web in it said that people are going to like it.
Yeah, and she's paid to say that.
I know.
It could be a steaming. It is probably going to be a steaming pile of
No,
garbage.
my only issue is that they've made the costumes like. I think a lot. The casting is alright. I think the casting for one of the Spider-Women was really well done. But
It would have been great.
Do you remember? Do you know what they came out and said?
Spider-Man in.
Do you know what? Do you remember what they said about it? They came out and said that the film's supposed to be set. Like the original idea was supposed to be. If I remember that, what they were saying was the original idea was to have. I think it was supposed to be. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was supposed to be that version of Spider-Man, but they went back on it. Can't remember. I'm trying to. Let me find.
Jordan's having one of those days where he can't remember anything.
I've seen it, right? I just can't remember shit at the minute because my brain is just right. You don't know what Alex did to me yesterday. My brain hurts.
Do I know?
Well, they posted it on fucking Twitter and that, and they posted it in group chat. I think on our Discord group chat. Basically, Alex, we were playing that We Were Here. Like, so we started playing these set of games called We Were Here. Me and you would have had a field day with it. Me and you would have probably stopped talking to each other for 5 days over it. Because it's that bad. Like, we had to think a lot.
Oh, I'd never want to do that with you.
We had to think so much. By the end of it, I was sat there looking at my computer screen like, thank fuck that's over. Alex has been filming it as well. So when they've edited it and start uploading it, I'll let you know and I'll send you the first video and then you'll know how fucking... I think first two are alright. It's the one that we just finished, which is just... Oh, my brain just hurts today. I can't think straight. And... it's fucking horrible. Let me try and find... where is it? What did this say? I'm just going past a lot of fucking, the nominees for Oscars. Speaking of the Oscars, how do you think? Glenn Powell.
I haven't seen it.
I know Oppenheimer's like won something.
I'm not surprised Oppenheimer's won. I'm not surprised Barbie's probably won stuff.
Apparently, the artist who did all of like the looks for the Barbie films releasing a book about it. About all the... Have you seen that people are angry over the fucking logo for Tron 3?
I haven't, actually.
The people are getting... Like, some people don't like the logo for Tron 3 because one of the letters... There's no E in Tron. So they've done it where they've replaced one of the letters with a number. And I'm like, I don't really care. I know it's Tron. I'm not going to call it Tren.
Tren.
Where is it? Hang on. Original idea on that. Yeah, I know. Cassandra. I think the original idea was to have it be so that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was to be their version of Spider-Man, but something happened that they had to go back on it. So they decided to set it in early 2000s and have it be that Peter is still a kid. Well, no, Peter's not even born, actually. That Peter's not even born. And he's... And one actor's in it will be his Uncle Ben. I think that's what the original idea was supposed to be. But then all I see in comments on the post about it is just talking about Madam Web from the animated film is better.
I agree with that sentiment.
Like, that's how Madam Web's supposed to be. Like, she's supposed to be this cosmic.
She's supposed to be manipulative.
Yeah, she's supposed to be like this cosmic. Like, she's technically a cosmic character in a way that she is somehow entwined with the web of life or something, and she's more of a support character for Peter, where she knows. Like, in the story, there's a story where I think it's in the animated film, they do a multiverse thing, and one of them is like, Madam Web takes him to... She works with the Beyonder at one point. But... Did we really need an origin story? So I don't really see it as an origin story.
I mean... I ask that question every time they announce a new superhero project. Is like
it's like Sony.
Recently, they've not been doing it as much. Like recently, they have gone with the idea that you probably know these established characters.
Yeah,
it might be why we're getting an older Batman, because everyone knows Batman's origin.
However, as long as he's not too old.
That doesn't make sense for the Superman argument though, because everyone knows Superman's origin as well.
Yeah.
And this being a young Superman...
I think it just depends... I think it just depends on what story he's wanting to tell.
I think James Gunn's just trying to seriously differentiate from anything they've done.
Yeah. He's trying to change it. He's
James Gunn, as brilliant as James Gunn is, right? As brilliant as he is, and he is fantastic at what he does, I feel like when it comes to course correction, James Gunn's got a tendency to overshoot. Like, for example, Suicide Squad and Suicide Squad 2. That's an example of overshooting in the right direction. Where, like, Suicide Squad 2 is so much better than Suicide Squad 1.
I was about to say that he had nothing to do with Suicide Squad 1. And technically now, though, the Suicide Squad film he made technically isn't a sequel now.
True. However, it is still technically a sequel.
It's technically a sequel, but in terms of his in-universe, the David Ayer one didn't happen.
Yeah. But that's an example of him course-correcting something in the right direction, and I hope he goes that way with the entire universe.
Yeah, same.
However, if he course-corrects too much, it could have the adverse effect of people going, it's too different from, like, source material. Or from, like, it's like Marvel struggling with it now.
Yeah, Marvel's going way off.
Marvel's trying to move away from their own source material. It's their own material, and they're going, it's not good enough, let us do it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That it doesn't make sense. I hope James Gunn sat there and I hope he's going, oh, we can bring this in from the comics and we can add this to it. And I'm hoping his idea of the universe isn't necessarily, oh, it's this universe where this comic happened. I kind of hope he's going with like the CW did, where they mashed all the universes together to create Earth Prime.
Have you watched the new animated universe, the Tomorrowverse?
Yeah.
Have you watched the recent Justice League?
I think so, yeah.
What are you thinking of the Tomorrowverse? Because I liked Superman Man of Tomorrow, the one that started it. I really loved both the Batmans, because I think they were really well done. I didn't mind the Flash, which was basically a time travel which I thought was a time travel one, but then ended up being a multiverse thing. But then the Justice League films were a bit just not for me.
The weird thing is, I feel like solo films for DC do well, where it's like they're focusing on a particular character. But anytime they
there's a scene from the new Justice League one, right? Do you know where? Because they're doing a multiverse, they're doing that Crisis, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there's all these versions of like Batman and Robins and Supermans and that, right? I remember one of Robins walks up to a Batman, to that normal universe's Batman, and says, "Bruce, I'm Robin from a different universe, but this version of Batman doesn't have a Robin." And when he tells him, "You recruited me after all this and that," Batman just goes, "That's very irresponsible."
Yeah.
And I'm sat there like, finally, a Batman that gets it. But yeah, when it comes to James Gunn, like, I think he can do well as long as he stays on point. I feel like it could work with them being an older Batman, because I feel like if he's going to go down that route, I think it could work in the way of he's got to tell Superman that you're not a god.
Yeah.
Or you're not a god, you have these powers, but use them wisely. Don't become like feel like you're a god. Like Zack Snyder tried to do.
Or I'll come for you.
What really annoyed me about Zack Snyder's was, do you know that scene in I think it was Justice League? Do you know where Superman saved a bunch of people and then they're all
like holding their hands
They're all holding hands out towards him, and there's people like looking to him like a god. Yeah. I'm sat there like, why is he just stood there, letting that happen? Superman would never do that. One, he would leave straight away, and then.
And two, he's far too humble.
Yeah, but I'm like, why are you treating him like he's a god? He's like, yeah, he does have godlike powers, but Superman, that Superman, like the version you're supposed to trying to do, is not a god. He would never be godly. But I'm like, you know, so I'm hoping the way that James Gunn is going, that Superman's gonna be this humble. Not like massively humble, but like knows that he has he has to have limits. He's like Superman. Superman is basically in the kind of realm of Spider-Man where he has to hold his powers back because he knows how strong he can be.
Yeah.
He knows if he punches somebody really fucking hard, they're dead. So, yeah. But, like, other than that, Superman knows he has to hold back. Same with Batman. Batman knows he can kill, he just chooses not to. So I'm hoping that it's not going to be like the realm of Ben Affleck, where he just doesn't give a shit and just murders people.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it goes down the realm of it's going to be good for DC, and I feel like James Gunn can do it. And the thing is, with these characters that we don't know about, like, because he's doing characters we don't know of, I feel like it can do well. Because we know it can do well, but it's see if it can continue.
I'm being shouted
Another time jump, guys. But yeah, anything else? What have you got to say?
I hope that James Gunn isn't afraid to break the norm with casting, because he's already sort of done it with Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
Who's notoriously a young character, and sadly Nathan Fillion is no longer
Which means which means the Green Lanterns are already established heroes, and meaning that Hal Jordan I think was the first Earth Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So really, Hal Jordan's Hal Jordan's been a Green Lantern, but Guy Gardner now is. So I wonder how that's gonna go.
Because there's some actors for some characters that I see like do roles, and I think that, like, they would do very well, but they're not like the typical character like archetype of like they're either not the right build, or they're not the right like mannerism.
It's like what people like. I remember, like, I've never seen David Conswell in anything, but apparently he kind of has that Superman charm to him, and I like the idea that he has that charm, which is really well like what Superman needs.
Because
And
like there's a couple of characters that James
but I
Gunn
have
will
seen him.
play.
But people did say that he wasn't built. But then I've seen behind the scenes photos, like, he looks massive. Now, he looks built.
But then again, they get time to train up,
Yeah,
don't they?
exactly. And then obviously we've got him on the screen tests, and even though he's not wearing his actual suit, I think he looks good. I think like the hair is perfect, the look of him is perfect. I think it's very well done for that casting. I'm hoping Batman-wise, I was hoping for James Gunn to have a talk with Matt Reeves to allow that Batman to be the Batman, but that's really not, like, that's up to Matt Reeves really.
Besides, I think there's a better choice
So,
for an old grizzled Batman.
well, I know where you're going with this. Which
There's no better
says.
choice than to Alan Richardson.
Yeah.
There's no better choice.
I think for me, it's either him, because he's already said he'd love to do it.
I mean, Reacher is Bruce Wayne without the cash.
Either that, or people are saying Jensen Ackles.
You see, I think that Jensen Ackles could pull off other characters. Like
I
Jensen
think he
Ackles,
could pull off an older Nightwing.
Older Nightwing, I feel like if he can do a British accent, I feel like he'd fit.
If this version of
Batman,
if this version of Batman's already done under the Red Hood, say like Red Hood's already done, get Jensen Ackles as Red Hood. So he knows how to do it. He knows the character.
if he can do the accent, he's got the look to be Constantine.
Or if imagine.
If he can do the accent.
But we would love David Ryan.
Matt Ryan,
I mean. We love Matt Ryan.
I mean, there are other people that I've seen that I feel like could pull off Constantine that aren't like your typical pick. Like,
the thing is, for Constantine, you need to get the British accent right.
I feel like Idris Elba could pull it off, which is like a very, very like out of left field pick. But like, for like
he's got the accent
for a unique Constantine. Like, Idris Elba's built for one.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like, he's got the accent already.
Yep.
He's got the charm, the Constantine
True.
charm. I've seen interviews with him. for movies that he's done, and also for the Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty expansion.
And I've seen him in other stuff where he's like wearing a long coat, like Constantine does.
I mean,
Man
if you
pulls it off.
if you play Phantom Liberty, and it's what put the idea into my head. His character in Phantom Liberty wears like a shape-shifting coat, and most of the time it's in like a long trench coat style. Let me tell you something. At first I was sat there and I was like,
have you ever watched the crime drama Luther?
Yeah.
He wears long coats in that, and it's really like that. If he could play Constantine like a little older Constantine, someone who's been around for ages, I think it's not a bad casting.
The only problem...
The thing is, the only thing about Constantine that is his character is that he's British. His skin colour doesn't matter to his character.
The biggest problem with Elba for it is that Elba's already in.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point.
Bloodsport. Elba's already in.
Yeah, and he's not dead either.
Elba can't do it if they're going to keep him as Bloodsport.
That's the thing, though. All we know is that they're keeping John Cena as Peacemaker. We don't even know about Bloodsport or any of them. We don't even Margot Robbie's. We don't know if Margot's going to stay either. Of course,
I mean, Elba's just one example. There are other people that I've seen that have gone, you could play this character quite well, and you could be this character. And it's the thing of, I quite like it when, not for diversity's sake,
Deadpool 3's finished filming,
but for the like punch in the face of, you didn't expect this character to look like this. You didn't expect this character to sound like that. I love when
it comes
shows are
to
able to...
specific characters, I do want him to go out of the norm. I want him to risk changing characters, not drastically, but at least do his own thing.
I mean, like, I don't think that, like, it's a drastic change to, let's say, like, Batman, for example. Like, if you wanted to be super, like, technical with it, Elba would fit Batman.
I could see
He's got the build.
I could see him as Batman easy.
There's so many characters that you can, like, put people into the role of that people would go, no, and their only argument is Batman's white.
Yeah. That's the thing.
That's their only...
I'm always, like, that's the thing. That's what... Like, here's the thing.
I love following source material. However,
I'm all for that, but...
if they can act...
Who gives a fuck?
I would much prefer a better acted character than I would keeping to the source material and hiring a subpar
Here's the
actor.
thing. Most people who understand, like, character-wise, all agree that changing the character's skin colour and everything, and, like, heritage or whatever, is okay as long as their skin colour isn't attached to their character. So, like, Black Panther, him being African and all that, is tied to his character. It's his character. His character is that. It's his heritage. It's the character itself. That is why. So you can't change the skin color of Black Panther because of that. But characters like what they've done with Disney's recent live action, changing the skin color of Little Mermaid, don't give a fuck as long as she's a mermaid. Who cares?
I mean, live action redhead would be sick. Mainly because redheads tend to be quite hot.
Okay. Calm down. I fucking knew you were gonna say something like that. But again, I don't give a shit.
I mean, we need a live action. We need a live action Poison Ivy.
Oh god, I want Poison.
That's going to be a difficult role to fill.
That is going to be difficult.
There's a few that are going to be quite difficult. Ivy will be difficult. Captain Cold will be quite difficult because what's his name? I forget the actor's name. Prison Break star, whatever his name is, can't remember. He did so well in the CW show. You've got
Heatwave
who else would be
as well.
Thorn, Eobard Thorn,
Yeah.
Reverse Flash, because Kavanagh has just absolutely annihilated that character for anyone
I think
else.
if it comes to a live action version of Reverse Flash, because I know Reverse Flash is built. Like, he's not just faster, he is built.
And
But there is one thing I think there is someone in my mind who could play a live action movie version of Reverse Flash. Guy who plays Homelander. He's got the hair for it. He's blonde.
He's not got the build. That's where you fall apart slightly. He would be like Kavanagh, where it's a slimmer build.
That's if he decided he wanted to be built. Like, if he wanted to do it.
He has vehemently said that the reason why Homelander has got the new law thing of he wears like a padding in his suit is because Anthony Starr didn't want to bulk up.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be bulking up for Reverse Flash.
But I do think he could do it.
He'd definitely be able to do it.
And when it comes to, like, Flash-wise, I don't know who could play Flash.
I mean, like, for, like, Flash, like, my immediate thought is obviously Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
That's my immediate
I know a lot of
thought.
people have already said, get Grant.
But,
like, would Grant do it?
There's a couple where I think that could be quite good. Joseph Quinn, I think, could do it. Eddie, is he Eddie Murphy? I think he is Eddie Murphy. Joseph from Stranger Things.
What about?
Joseph Quinn. He's the guy from Stranger Things, isn't he? The one that does the guitar solo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dylan O'Brien, I think, could play Flash as well.
Yeah, Dylan O'Brien would be good.
People have got him fan casted for Nightwing, and if you're doing a young Nightwing, yes.
If you're doing a young Nightwing, yeah. But I don't think they will be.
If we're going with the older Batman and the older Bat family, then I don't think he can pull it off as close. One I've seen a lot of for the Flash is Lucas Till, who is he's from the Hannah Montana movie from 2009. He plays like Hannah Montana's love interest.
I think I know you're on about. He's also he's also in the show MacGyver.
Yeah, here he is.
I think I could see it. He's got
the face and the hair.
Yeah, he's got the hair. Cause Flash is supposed to be blonde.
My only gripe would be if James Gunn decides that his DC universe isn't a DC universe and it's just James Gunn and his pals.
I'm hoping, yeah. By the far as we can tell, there are some people he's casted who aren't people he's worked with before. He's never worked with Cornsweat. He's never worked with. But that's the thing. A lot of directors work with people they know, and sometimes, like, let me think of someone. Martin Scorsese. He works with actors he's worked with for years, all the time.
Yeah.
He always works with people he knows. So a lot of actors only trust people they know.
They're not usually family.
Yeah.
And James Gunn's got a very bad rep for hiring family. Like his wife. Yeah. He casts his wife. He casts his brother.
Yeah.
I won't be surprised.
The thing is, I think his brother, like his brother's been casted as 3 characters actually: G.I. Robot, Weasel, and now Maxwell Lord.
Yeah.
And
honestly, I won't be surprised if I turned around one day and I saw James Gunn's dad as Batman. I'd be super confused.
Would you imagine James Gunn casts himself? James Gunn casts himself as Batman.
Yeah, there's a lot that.
Do you think he'd do that? I could imagine, like, because I know Taika Waititi. I think he loves putting himself in roles in his own
He does,
movies.
yeah.
Like
I don't
when it
think
comes,
James Gunn
like when it comes to Thor,
him being Korg.
yeah, he always casting himself as Thor, as a Korg, and in that what is it? That one with Ryan Reynolds, the gaming thing.
Oh yeah.
Taika Waititi's in that.
Is it? It's not Blue Shirt Guy, is
No,
it? It's. I know that's what they call him in the thing.
I forgot
It's.
the title.
I forgot the name of it. Fall. Not Fall Guy.
No.
That's a game.
What is it called?
Free Guy.
Free Guy. That's it. Yeah. Taika Waititi plays the villain, like basically the villain.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Taika Waititi is a bad actor.
I mean, there's a lot that Gunn can do to make it successful, and honestly, one of the biggest ones is learning from Marvel's mistake.
That's the thing.
Which
He's worked
is-
with Marvel. He's seen. You can tell that he has seen people complain about Marvel, and that people love his Guardians film because, like, out of this new phase, Guardians has been really the only thing that's kept me in. Like, I really loved Guardians. Like, all 3 movies were great.
I think because Gunn's having a hand in writing and directing everything.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's
the
like Kevin Feige.
Doesn't. Kevin Feige, he decides what goes in. He decides what gets made, what stories are told, what happens. He makes all the deals, and that with like Sony and that. He does all that stuff, but he's never actually there for all of it. He doesn't get.
Whereas Gunn will be.
The only thing is, he'll only be like Kevin Feige will only be there, like at premieres and press screenings.
At the end of the day, there's that disconnect because if a film's bad from Marvel, you can't blame Feige.
No.
Because the only thing.
But if it comes to James Gunn, if it comes to James
Gunn,
Gunn,
bad film, you have to blame Gunn because he's the one that's written and directed.
Like, he's not writing them all or directing them all, but he's gonna have a hand in them all.
Yeah.
Because it's also him and someone else. Both of them are working together on everything. Gunn, he's the one who's going to be directing Superman. That's why I think the first thing he's directing is Superman. Other than that, mainly he's doing casting and stuff like that. But he also wants to tell stories of characters that we might not know of. Because
that's another thing that worries me. I do hope that the DC universe that he's making doesn't fall into his B-list characters.
I think, like, that's the thing. These characters have probably been in the comics for years and people love them, but will mainstream, would non-comic book readers like them?
Like, Guardians may not have been mainstream, but Guardians are far more well-known than Creature Commandos.
Yeah. The thing what I like about it is, there's one thing I do like, is that he said that DC won't just span movies and TV.
Yeah.
It'll span video games as well. So, like, we could be playing, and
however,
what?
That comes with the caveat of the most recent DC games looking like it's going to be a bust.
What? Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad. The more gameplay gets revealed, and the more, because they've released like the first seasonal character that you're going to
and it's fucking Joker.
And it's like people really think. My favorite comment is, and I thought Jared Leto was bad. That's the comment.
I find it funny because, like, they've had a Joker, and I'm like, people who don't know that this is a joke from a different, like, reality or something.
Oh, do you want to know something else that I found out?
What?
Guess who's voicing Brainiac?
Who?
Jason Isaac.
What?
Enver Gortash himself from Baldur's Gate 3.
Really?
That is who is voicing Brainiac in Suicide Squad.
I think he could do it. It's alright.
Which is a good voice. The problem is, it's looking like it's going to be a bad game.
Yeah, I'm on the fence with it.
Which is such a shame because he was in such a banger last year.
I'd love to like play the game, but I'm also gonna probably be on the fence of waiting to see what people think of it.
I would love if they'd allow me to have a demo of the game.
The only issue I have with it is that it's kind of seeming like the way they're doing it is like what the Avengers game did.
Yeah.
Where they're adding new characters with new stories. So like they're doing a main story that you play through, and then they're adding stories on. So it just ends up being this massive like continuation of what came before.
Guess what they're calling Joker's Edition as well.
Oh.
It's not like the Avengers game where they gave you like a cool like title for like a new story like content thing. Season 1. It's getting seasons, which I'm sure the Avengers game probably had. But like the content
when it came to the, when it came to the Avengers game, it was like story was added, but it was added onto what's already there. So like AIM was the main villain still. But the story continuing on was different things. Like different things happened. And when it came to so like Spider-Man got added and all that, AIM was still the main villain. And they had actual like it kind of was like seasons, but they also added names to it. But just calling it season 1, what? It makes, and they're probably adding like a pass thing to it as well.
They are. The battle pass was actually in the demo that people.
Yeah, and I'm like, why?
It's one of those things where I don't think superhero titles work for live service games.
No,
because if you're gonna do a superhero game,
like, I don't mind it. Like it being multiplayer is good. Good idea.
Like think of like Insomniac Spider-Man. Imagine if that was a live service game where you were waiting for seasonal content. Granted, I'm still waiting for that DLC Insomniac.
To be fair,
waiting.
I think with Insomniac Spider-Man, it could have worked.
It wouldn't have worked.
A little.
It wouldn't have worked.
Multiplayer would have
the
worked.
Problem. Well, you wouldn't have had multiplayer. You'd have had co-op.
Co-op then. It would have worked. Like co-op would have worked.
Would have been interesting to see as well. I feel like if they're going to do games, it needs to be a story-focused game. I don't want them to try and... I really don't want them to try and innovate. If James Gunn's heart set on having every form of media be tied to his universe...
That's the thing. I don't think he's going to work with...
He needs the games to not be innovative. He needs them to be
If he's smart,
good.
he'd work with Insomniac.
He can't, because they've got to deal with Marvel.
Like, do you know if Insomniac end up, like, that deal ends up gone?
Which it won't, because they've got, like, contracts for, like, 5 other Marvel games.
Just get a company that makes story-driven
Do you know
games.
what would be...
If he's wanting... Like, that's the thing. If he's wanting it to be that... If he's wanting it to be... like, in the world... is limited to the point where he can't do live service. It has to be story driven, so the story fits into the overall world.
I'll tell you who.
Which
can
one
do
thing that I would love. Imagine if these video games get post credit scenes for a movie.
What, like Insomniac Spider-Man did?
Yeah, but like these are linked to movies. So like you get end of credit scene. You get like a scene from a next movie where. But it's in the video game, like, graphics. Yeah, go on.
There's 2 gaming companies that I think can do it.
Go on.
Actually, not just one. One, CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, true.
They are very good at crafting stories, and considering it wouldn't need to be innovative...
It wouldn't need to be a choice-based thing either.
Yeah, they could literally just like hammer that out very quickly with like Cyberpunk's engine.
Because like they use their own engine.
The other one, and it's one that could work actually. Now that I think about it, Larian.
Oh yeah, Larian would do really well.
Larian, because they have crafted a very good story multiple times now. The only problem is they tend to lean towards more turn-based games.
Yeah, I think that's the only issue is the fact that, and I don't think people would want to do that type of game.
Superhero combat, yeah. Whereas with CD Projekt Red, they're adept at first-person and third-person games.
Think if CD Projekt Red get the chance to make a DC-based game, I think it'd be great. Because that's the thing as well. It's not just that the actors, like all of them, will be connected, but the actors playing the characters will also play the characters in the games and animation.
And I mean, CD Projekt Red have already got a history of bringing like famous people, famous actors into.
So imagine like if CD Projekt Red are able to get the right to like a deal with DC to make DC movies. I mean DC video games, and are able to like say they get the rights to make a Superman game. Say they get like Superman game happens. David Conswett voices and is facing, so it looks the same.
You've already got your.
Model.
You've already got your cast effectively for the game.
Exactly.
Like you don't need to sit there and be like, "Oh, who are we going to get to play this character?" You have the answer.
So you don't need to do any casting. You just need to write the story, find when to, like who's going to work on it, teams.
Which Gunn will work with.
Yeah, like Gunn will have says on story. Like Gunn would probably help with story, so it fits it. Like the thing is, they'd have to work together because Gunn has a vision of what story he wants to tell. Yeah. So like, I feel like he would probably do a Batman game. I could see a Batman game.
Yeah.
I could see a Superman game. Because we haven't had a good Superman game ever. At all. Because every Superman game, there's just a little core thing missing. And it's Superman feels too powerful. Like,
well, that's sort of the problem with Superman is the only way to make him vulnerable is to give every enemy a kryptonite gun.
Yeah.
To weaken him. Personally, I don't think Superman can
either
work
that or a video game where the villain is Doomsday. Because Doomsday could easily fuck him up.
Yeah, but then simple street thugs aren't going to be a threat. Personally, I like a power fantasy. So, playing Superman and being able to literally swoop down into the middle of an ongoing crime and, like, knock out every enemy in a single
what's one of my
punch
favourite things that Superman's done in any live-action film? It's the one from Random Ralph Superman Returns. There's a rooftop scene where a guy's got like a Gatling gun or something, and he's just firing it. So he's walking up to it. Superman walks out in front. The guy points a gun at him, shoots him in the fucking eye, and he doesn't flinch, and it just breaks the bullet. If James Gunn can do that in a if he can do something like that in live action in his DC, I'd love to see it because I just love the fact that someone just walks up and he's like bang. It's
every superhero is a different like power fantasy. Like Superman is that overwhelming force where he's so powerful that no matter what the bad guy's doing, he's basically like immovable to it. A Batman game works so much better because Batman's power fantasy is tactical thinking.
Yeah.
Like, you play the Arkham
I'm just hoping that Gunn learns from Matt Reeves that we want a Batman who is a detective as well as a crime fighter.
Well, my favourite thing about Batman is Batman understands the one thing that no other superhero understands, and that is fear.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Batman's always been like Superman think like Metropolis isn't just called Metropolis. It legit is a metropolis because they've got their own red, white, and blue hero. They've got their own hero to like look after them. Like they can walk down the street and Superman will be, yep, I'm in, got it, bye, gone. But with Batman, with Gotham, he understands that it's a dark world out there, and there's criminals who aren't just like evil, but are just pure evil.
Yeah.
So he understands that, and that's why I think they're like good friends. Is the fact that they learn off each other. Superman teaches Batman to have a laugh, be fun, and all that. Batman teaches Superman that not all of his villains are going to just be street thugs. Some of them are going to be out there to kill people he loves. It's going to be a dark world.
I mean, my favourite trope for Batman is the unanswered question, where he'll be on a rooftop talking to someone getting information, and they'll turn around and they'll ask a question, and when they turn back, he's just gone, like he was never even there. It's my favourite trope, and the game, like, when you, like, the Arkham games never really did it.
No, she played as Batman, didn't you? So
you played as Batman, and I feel like because most of the cutscenes were told from, like, there wasn't really cutscenes.
No.
In the Arkham games, if they did cutscenes, they had the ability to have you like disappear from sight, and to like you could then like have the camera pan around the person. Batman's gone, and then the camera like zooms off to where Batman is now perched, ready to continue playing.
Nolan's did it well. It's like Nolan always had it where he would just fucking up and disappear all the time.
Yeah.
And I just love those moments where Batman disappears and Gordon's always like, I hate when he does that. I love it when every time.
It's one of the funniest things.
I'd love J.K. Simmons to still be casted as James Gordon. I think he had the really good look. I think he had the look of James Gordon, and I think he should still play him. Anything else? This episode's gone really long.
I don't have anything else.
Neither do I, but yeah. Wait, why am I outroing? It's you.
I'm gonna say. If you did enjoy, guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to all the stuff that YouTube wants you to do. If you're watching on one of the other platforms, come over to the YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. I've been one of your hosts, Azteral.
Slasher.
Yeah, that was DC, James Gunn's universe discussion. We will see you next week for the next podcast. And in the meantime, make sure to watch All Things Media and our videos. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye for now.
Forget 1,000 things every day, pal. Make sure this is one of them.
It's over, Anakin! Very right. The Green Arrow. Devil!
You don't want to do this.
Yeah, we do. The Bad Batch.
I'm Batman.
Cobra Kai.